Hey guys, and welcome to part 3 of my Paradise Rainbow Mandala Crochet along. Today in part 3 we're going to be working on rounds 18 to 22. So for this part of the blanket I'm going to be using 3 colours. So I'm going to have a border colour and 2 colours what sit on the inside. So I am going to be choosing light green and dark green, and then for my border colour I'm going to use white. But you can use whatever colours you like. Yeah, it's just whatever you feel in the mood for. So follow me back on for round 18. Round 18. So to start round 18, we're just going to get a new colour yarn on our hook with a slip knot, and we're going to start in the 10th stitch from the corner. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 with a standing single crochet. Then we're going to yarn over twice for a treble and count 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th one make a stitch. And then in the same stitch we are going to just tighten that up a little, make another 8, all the same. So yarn over twice and make another 8 stitches. Is a lot to go in to one stitch, but just persevere, they'll all fit, don't worry. So I've got 6, so I need another 3. 7, 8 and 9. I always double check with these. You can kind of flatten them out a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 9. So now what we're going to do is we are going to skip the next 3 stitches, and into the 4th stitch we're going to make a single crochet. So if you look at the back, 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th one make a single crochet. It's quite a nice easy round. Right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and into the back of round 13. Now I'll show you exactly where we need to go, because it can be a little bit tricky. If you look at the rounds where you have these lovely kind of like surface crocheting going on, and if you look at the next round up to this purple, it's the top of that purple round what you need to be going into now. So what I'll do is I'll show you it once from my perspective. So it is here, and what we're going to do is we're going to go in and then back through. So I'll just see if I can get a better view of this. So it's quite tricky, but once you've done it once, so you're going to go in just above where you can see this round here, and you're just going to go straight under. So this is now the back of my work. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and just finish making that single crochet. So what this is going to do is it's just going to make a little big kind of chain what's connected, and you're not really going to see it at the back. So then what we're going to do is chain 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and we're going to connect it to the 10th stitch from the corner with a single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. And this stitch is literally the same as this stitch right here. So from here, yarn over twice, skip 3, and then make 9 stitches in the 4th stitch. that's 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. I do apologise if I'm working a little bit fast, but you can always pause me. I'm not doing the entire round, I'm just going to show you the rest of this stitch repeat. So what we're going to do is skip 3, 1, 2 and 3 and go into that 4th stitch with a single crochet and chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and in the back of row 13, so it's the row just above there, so in and back through for a single crochet and then chain 6 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and then single crochet into the 10th stitch from the corner, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Always double check that. And that is the end of the stitch repeat. So what this is going to do is going to give us these nice lovely half circles to work into on our next round. So after you've finished this round, you're just going to make a slip stitch into your first standing single crochet and then follow me back for round 19. Round 19, and I'm starting with a new colour on my hook. So I'm using a darker colour for this round. If you're using a dark colour and a light colour, I suggest that you use your dark colour for this. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a slip knot on our hook like always and a standing half double crochet on the tip of this star point. So yarn over, make sure you go through the right part of the stitch through your chain 1 and chain 1 and then another half double crochet. And what we're going to do is we are going to make 8 half double crochets down here. So make sure you go through this first stitch. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and if you've done that correctly you should have 1 stitch before the single crochet. So round that single crochet we're going to do a back post half double, so yarn over and make sure you're going through the right part. So we've got this chain, so we're going there for a back post half double, just like that. And then we're going to do a back post half double on each of these stitches, going around this kind of petal shape. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have to move my work slightly to get in the right direction. 6, 7, 8 and 9. Then what we're going to do is another half double, another back post half double round this single crochet. Can be a little tricky to get that one. Then I'm going to skip 1 and make 8 half double crochets up here. Make sure this is to the back of your work, this little bridge piece. So just keep that out of the way. So skip 1 and then in the next. So 1, oops, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and if you've done that correctly, that should be the last stitch before your corner. So for the corner, this corner is exactly the same as this first one you've done, so it's a half double, chain 1 and a half double. Oops, and make sure you go through your chain 1 space and not that first stitch. The half double, chain, and then a half double. So you're going to continue like this for the round. I don't have to show you the entire round, just the stitch pattern repeat, where you're just going to finish the round with a slip stitch into that first standing half double crochet. So join me back for round 20. Round 20, and as you can see I have my second colour, and we're going to start off with a slip knot, and we're going to make a single crochet tip on any point. So 1 single crochet, chain 1 and a single crochet. And what we're going to do is 7 single crochets going down this leading edge. So don't forget this first stitch, it can hide away sometimes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Then what we're going to do is we are going to yarn over twice, and we're going to make a cluster stitch now into this stitch here, which would have been our single crochet. Just double check that. Yeah. So yarn over twice, go into this stitch, and we're all going to finish half a stitch, so you end up with 2 loops. So yarn over twice, pull up loop, come through 2, and come through 2. So you've got 2 stitches there now, and we're just going to do this once more. So you've got 3 stitches and 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all stitches, and chain 2. Then we are going to skip a stitch, yarn over twice, and go through the next one for another cluster. Chain 2, and skip a stitch down here and go into the next one. Oops. Right, chain 2. Now, what you want to do on this one is we're not going to skip a stitch. We're going to work 2 clusters directly into the next stitch. I think. Bear with. Yeah. So I just had to consult my written pattern. It's not the easiest to read back. So in this next stitch, we are going to make 2 clusters. But this time, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3, because this is now becoming a new point for us. So in that same stitch, make another cluster. One, 2, and 3, and wow, this yarn is squeaky today. Do apologise. And then we're going to now skip a stitch on this one and make a cluster. So skip that one and go into your next. It does seem a bit odd placement, but it does work out. And chain 2, skip 1, and then another cluster. chain 2, I just need a bit more yarn out here, skip a stitch, and then your last cluster should be worked into, it's not actually going into this single crochet, it's going into the half double next to it, but it is fine. Oops. Now we're not going to do any chains, just double check that these are in the right place. As you can see, it all looks nice and even. And we're going to skip 2 and do 7 single crochets. So skipping that one and that one, we can do 7 single crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, this is where we have to get a little bit creative, because since we've had to be a bit creative on here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull a couple of stitches out, and I'm just going to double up one of my single crochets to make 7 stitches up here. It just keeps stitch count right, and you know, it's nothing to worry about. So just be aware that on this round, since these are kind of in odd placements to get the same amount on each side with our tip in the top, it just means it throws this out a little bit here. But as you can see, you can't really notice that extra stitch. So just continue the round and slip stitch into your first single crochet when you get to the beginning, and I will see you back for round 21. Round 21. So what I'm doing is I'm starting off with my dark colour, what I used on the first round of part 3, on the second round of part 3 even, and just going to start with a slip knot and a single crochet tip in the star point. So for that it's a standing single crochet, chain 1 and a single crochet, just like we've been doing throughout. And we're going to do 7 single crochets now. So don't forget this first one, can be a bit tricky. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and you should have 1 single crochet left before you get to your clusters. So what we're going to do now is we are going to do a double crochet into this round here, which is of the same colour as what we're using. So to do that, we're just going to go down and across, because you've got these 2 stitches there. So we're going to go through the first one with a double crochet. Make sure this is to the back so it stays separate, just like that. And then we're going to come up back up to the cluster round, and we're going to put 1 single crochet through that stitch of that cluster. Then we're going to come to the other side of the cluster into this big open space and place in 1 single crochet. Then we're going to yarn over twice. There's a lot going on in this, so yarn over twice, come to this single crochet directly underneath, and come through the front and make a stitch. Then back up to the cluster round and place in 1 single crochet in the side of that cluster, or into a stitch rather, and 1 after the cluster. So we're going to yarn over twice and come back down, then back up to the cluster row for a single crochet, skip the cluster and a single crochet. Right, we're going to do this again, but this time we don't have a stitch underneath, so we're going to go into the same stitch as this cluster right here. So just pop it in there. And then same again with that single crochet into that cluster. Single crochet after your cluster and do the same. So now what we do, yarn over twice and come through this middle stitch. It will be a tight squeeze, but there is enough room. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a single crochet, chain one and a single crochet. That just gets us around that little corner. And then yarn over twice, back down through this middle stitch here. And my yarn's really squeaky today. And then a single crochet through this stitch on that cluster. Single crochet after the cluster, yarn over twice, and then we do have a stitch down there now, so we can just continue. Single crochet in the cluster, single crochet after the cluster, yarn over twice. So what we're doing is we're kind of making kind of framing these little clusters, and they will pop out and stand up a little bit as well. Just adds a really nice, just a nice effect. Right, next stitch. Single crochet into that cluster, yarn over twice. We've got a stitch underneath. And then into a single crochet into that cluster there, into that stitch. Now what we're going to do is a double crochet, and we're going to copy what we've done on this side, so it's the second one. Can be a little tricky to get this one without getting tangled up in this, so just be careful of that. For a double crochet, and just making sure we don't need to skip one anywhere. We need 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yes, skip this first single crochet and into the second one. We're going to crochet back up the row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mine's a little funny because this is where I wove in all my ends. 6, 7, and then we are back up to this tip. So one chain and 1 single crochet. Now we're just going to repeat this for the round. You can give it a little bit of a stretch out, and afterwards, and get these looking nice and bobbly. So that is it for round 21. So what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch back into your first standing single crochet, and then we're going to move on to round 22, which is the end of part 3. So if you got this far, brilliant, keep on going. So I will see you for round 22. Hey guys, welcome to round 22. So by this point, this is how we're looking. If these little in-between bits are starting to bunch up a little bit, you can just give them a little stretch, and kind of give them a little stretch out as well as these triangles, because there's a lot of stitches going on around here. This helps it just to sit a little bit flatter and a little bit more easy to work. So with that being said, I'm just trying to find the end of my yarn. I know it's somewhere around here. I'm going back to my first colour, what I started this section with, so I'm starting with white. and I'm going to do a standing single crochet. So I'm making a slip knot for my hook, and my standing is going to be a standing back post single. So I'm going to count back from this double crochet right here. So 1, 2, 3, and in this fourth stitch, counting back, I'm going to do a standing single crochet in the back post. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to yarn over, and in this space, what we've got here, going round both of these rows, I'm going to go in and do half of a double crochet. I'm going to yarn over, go back through, pull up another loop, yarn over, go back through and pull up another loop, and then I'm just going to yarn over and pull through all of them, and then a chain one. So it's a puff stitch what we're doing, or a bean stitch or whatever you want to call them, but we're only going to be doing 3 yarn overs on them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go into our next available space, which is in between the cluster and this long stitch. So yarn over, so that's 1, 2 and 3. You can give them a little wiggle and a little shake about. And just like that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to work in between these spaces. Which are kind of like before and after your long stitches. As you can see, it's just adding a little extra definition, a little extra dimension to this piece. Then we just do the one chain on these, just to close the stitch up. So we're going to work up to the top, or the tip rather. It's going to look lovely. So in this tip, what we do is we're working again straight over both rows, both of the previous rows. What we've done, 2 and 3. In this tip, what we want to do is you want to chain 2 this time. So 1 and 2. This is just going to give you that corner what we need to get round this shape here. So in that same corner space here, we're just going to pop in another one. 1, 2 and 3. Just as easy as that. Chain 1. And as you can see, that's made a new point. Right, moving on, we're going to go straight down here in the exact same spaces as the other side. I am working a little bit quicker, just because I'm trying to cut my video times down, but still be thorough. The more you practice this stitch, the quicker it does actually become. The same with anything though. 1, 2 and 3. Oops, I didn't catch that last one. One, 2 and 3. Just got one last one to go, so you can just pull this apart and just go over them 2 rows. Now we're not going to chain one on this last one. What we're going to do is we're going to do basically what we've done over here. So we are going to count that first stitch, that second, 3, and around this fourth one, a back post single crochet. and that gives the same appearance as this over here. And actually, give that one a chain stitch. Looking at that, it looked a little bit odd, and then you can go into your 4th stitch here with a back post single. See, that looks better. I do apologise for that. Sometimes you have to make these little allowances as you go. Now what we're going to do is we are going to chain. Let's just have a look first. Chain 3, and then if you look over to 2 rows back, which is this light coloured row for me, this is where we're going to go, and it's actually in that dark green what we've got from the 2nd round. We're going to do the same as what we've done before and just kind of loop it in there with a single crochet, and chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Then from over here count backwards to 4. 1, 2, 3, and round this 4th stitch do a back post single crochet. So this back post single is the exact same as this 1st stitch what we've done. So what I want you to do is continue for the round, and then when you get back to your 1st back post single crochet, close with a slip stitch, and that is the end of part 3. So I hope you've enjoyed this video so far. I'm absolutely loving this pattern which I'm creating as we go for you guys. So I will be working on part 4 ASAP, because I know a few of you are going, oh, when's the next video coming out? So yeah, I've got my work cut out for me here. So until next time, keep on stitching guys, and I will see you all soon.